Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and today we're continuing with Saturnastra, Deasura. This is, okay, it's chapter 7, so this one will be, okay, so this one is chapter 8. You see, I'm that stupid, am I? Asked Mouna, making her way to the forest while carrying me. And could have fooled me, I said, trying to animate my static limbs, and only the area that had my arm had any sensation. And Mouna walked the forest forward till she made her way towards the monolith again. And feeling the texture of the ground with her feet, she noticed something peculiar about the ground. And just below the grass there were hints of an ancient road, and Mouna was in a four-corner road, and she was not getting out of there anytime soon. And the real question was why Karina was taking so long to bail me out of this sticky situation. And it seemed to me that though her perception and powers could affect all four-corner streets, she had a limitation on how many places she could manifest at once. And at the time it seemed to me that she was taking care of all the more pressing matters. And I had placed myself in that situation and thus decided to deal with it myself, and I wriggled the only part of me that could move, and dragging with me the head and the other vital parts, and Mouna felt the ropes moving in a strange fashion, and she dropped me as a result of my profuse bleeding. And she tried armoring vines in the form of shields to force me to maintain my original form. And I entered what I thought was my armband and exploded the rest of my body. And my random form felt small, and Mouna seemed like a giant to me, and the explosion had taken her by surprise. And it is not a tactic we normally prefer, and the force of the blast sent her towards the edge of Karina's area, through the forest, and I started uttering below my breath, Almighty Atacarte, whose name hasn't been uttered in over millenniums. Have mercy upon the last mortal who still remembers your name, and come to my aid, dear goddess, whose name is in Aramaic is Atarades, and for the Latin use you were Dea Syria, and the Greeks you were Derceto. And my blood was drawn towards a small puddle of water, and soon a bubble rose from it, and Paul revealing a little mermaid, with an elongated salmon red tail and riding a lion, and frowning she said, You forgot to mention Leonis. I don't have time for this. Go get Mouna before she recovers. I yelled, Oh yeah, you forgot to say please, started Atagartis when an energy bullet popped her, and she soon popped back into existence along with her partner Leonis. And she confronted Mouna with her elegant rose bowl, and shaped like the leg of a flamingo, with rosy red feathers to match as well. And the game of cat and mouse started with both me that fell into injure one another. And from time to time, Mouna would shoot at me for arbitrary reasons, and I guess she hoped Atagartis or Leonis would try to shield me with their bodies. And though the blows landed, it failed to do anything more significant since I was already pretty beat. And mind you, it was already a mess at this point, and at the end of the stalemate I started another invocation, and as though this time felt like the right time, Eseli, I am literally running out of bones, and none of my brothers and sisters are listening to me, Eseli. And after coughing up a diamond necklace and a platinum ring, the frame of the goddess appeared and started to manifest to the necklace and the ring, and she appeared in the form of a black maiden wearing a lovely red dress colored blue, pink, and gold, and she did not have time to complain when Mouna threw her a fragment with an extra kick and Mouna has always had a thing for antique weapons. And this violent reception utterly sent Eseli into a rage, and her form changed to that of her Danto form, and her youthful face turned haggard and scarred and old, and even her attire became more somber, and picking me up she started screaming curses at Mouna. Other than badmouthing my friend who became my enemy, and serving as a shield, she did not do much of anything. I was really disappointed. She also provided sufficient calm for me to get some more friendly advice from the ultimate weapon, and in response to the prospect of my ever-increasing numbers, Mouna apparently gave up on the idea of taking me alive. And flying at supersonic speed, which is slow by today's standards, she outpaced Atagartis, whose usual human targets were slow, and after repeated blows to the face, Atagartis destroyed a desperate range attack with Leonis, but Mouna decapitated both with a sudden swift movement of the sword she had sheathed on her back. And Sandra, let's come forth and harm my would-be assassin, and let this victory forever serve as an example of your benevolence and hunting progress. Come and claim this prey worthy of your name, I whispered. And at the sound of the word Sandaless, Mouna started looking about, while occasionally dodging or parrying with her dagger whatever arrows were thrown her way. And this fellow at this dinner had to manifest in such an obvious manner, and I could feel his divine presence at all, and Mouna kept herself flying over the forest to remove any chance of a surprise attack, and whatever could come from the distance she had ample time to react, and as she started turning, I saw behind her the creepy god, wearing a black mask with long green feathers trailing from the back of the head, and his body was painted like candy cane, which made me smile, and Mouna turned around and she saw Sandalus, and he stared back at her, not moving an inch, and apparently millennium spent dead had rusted his hunting skill, and she tried putting much distance, but Sandalus maintained the same distance from before, always creepily staring at her with his golden eyes. And much to her mutual annoyance, Sandalus did not do much of anything for the time being, and he just stared down at Mouna, and while Tagati finally landed a blow, the god Sandalus and Mouna bleed, and only then did he enter his battle frenzy. As would with an animal, he smacked her in the head with his claws, reinforced with obsidian, till she stopped moving, and assuming she was dead, he started skinning her, and was surprised when she quickly came to and shot him in the face, and his mask broke, revealing a devilish handsome face, and touching his face, he started screaming and smashing Mouna some more, and the blows would have killed any regular human, but not Mouna. And between his strong brute force and Atagassi's magical arrow, Mouna was finally put to rest, and it was at that moment when Karina finally felt like making an appearance, and putting her face on her hips, she started saying, "Took you long enough, cheese. And don't you have any other stronger summons?" And with her appearance, Sandalus started creeping behind her and observing her with a narrow, suspicious eyes. "Hey, it was my first battle, you know." "And damn you, Karina," said Ethely, pointing at my sister. Yeah, she said, throwing at Ethely a ruby the size of a fist. And Ethely relaxed and regained her form of a beautiful, youthful maiden. "And you need to stop being so reckless, my little sister. Summons can be useful in more than one way," commented Karina. Yeah, I said, emulating her downward mood. "And don't forget, you're a piece of military hardware, not a person. The enemy would love to steal technology such as you and I," said Karina, picking up the redness of the blue robes. And she added, "And can you send Mr. Stark back to where he belongs? That creepy Sandalus is creeping me out." "Fine, sorry, Sandalus, you can go home now," I said to him, and instead of leaving, he stayed there staring. And there was a problem with the vocations. Calling a deity is easy business, and summoning them back without a pentagram is difficult. And since the god was not leaving, Karina took the effort to draw a magic circle around Sandalus, and after saying a magic word, Sandalus returned to his home. And I bid Karina and my friends and gods goodbye, and that concludes the end of one of the longest nights in my life. Why does it take me so long to heal? I don't need to. Month 8, day 2, year 2. I recently completed the lambskin journal I got from Rimaro, and I do not know why he gave me such a bizarre looking present. And there's no need to write things out on paper, you know. Still, it is a nice way to pass the time. Just having things on your head is not enough. And mother always found it fun of putting things out on paper to avoid forgetting it. And frankly, I would like to forget all about Mouna and everything that happened the night before. And since this is a picture and a drawing, you know, here's a picture of a baby seal. And I saw Liz sacrificing one to Eruna, and surprise, she was as silent and stoic as before. And he has only heard her voice like 3 times in his entire life. And even the Lesacaras do not know what to make out of her, and everyone has been busy around themselves with me, and the blood and all that is left of me has left them in a panic, and a god is always posted beside me to see when I might croak. And a few hours ago, a priest came to see me, and he made a motion to give me my last rites or whatever. And I then said to him in a nonchalant manner, "I am not dead, nor am I dying anytime soon." And my sudden movement and my speech after being immobile for so long must have frightened the poor fellow who ran out of the room. And I was bored of my mind, just lying there, and the night and before, Karina had visited me with the intention of healing me, and despite her best efforts, she had not made much progress. "And I am going to see about just wait here," she said, departing my side. What a bother. And then again, I was deployed only a month after my birth, and I guess it was not enough time to see how I would develop. And maybe I don't have natural abilities, and the more evocation thing is only a side effect of that little hobby, and I wouldn't call it a natural ability. And why haven't I healed yet? And it is getting a little bit too annoying to just be lying in the bed waiting for something to happen. And I will simply work with what remains and craft myself a new body. Mosaic Day Year 3. And normally people will utilize a period of unwork on rest to question every little decision they made up by this point. And frankly, I regret nothing except failing to come up with the least damaging escape plan. And on a side note, I will be more mindful of the gifts I get in the future. Mindful as in I will sell it for cash or lend it to someone to see if it kills them instead of me. And yeah, that seems like a decent solution. It is such a bother being alone with your own thoughts, and my companions are too focused on the current state of the world to be much comfort. And so I am inside my mermaid pouch, I can only listen to the world around me, and everything is quite rather dull. And I started ruminating about the private matters I'm not allowed to put on paper, and eventually a single strain of thought came in the form of an image of a female goat with only one eye. And one summer wind soon entered my bedroom and enveloped my surroundings, and hanging overhead was the titan moon wearing the cloaks of the new moons. And the god asked in a whimsical high-pitched voice, "Who calls me after an eternity of mournful silence?" "No one in particular, and I am not an adoring fan either," I whispered. "And can you speak up?" said the goat, coming closer to my bedside. "And there are others around me, and I would rather that they not hear me talking to myself, lest they think I am about to croak, and they may start to pretty call the mortician again," I explained. "There's no one here, but I can see why this would be a problem, seeing as though you're close to death," commented the Cyclops goat, with her one pitch black eye staring down at me. "I'm not dying," I said. "Sure you aren't," commented the goat. "You're just hallucinating us all, which is normal for someone so alive and vibrant. I'm fine. Once the healing kicks in, I will be okay. Everything will be okay. I just know it, I think. Your sister Karina is already speaking with Kana about using their size, should you croak. And too bad it takes so many lives to get that accursed item to work," said the goat. "It won't be necessary. I am going to pull through this, and I'll be fine, just fine, if only a bit immobile I added. Though it would not hurt to speed up recovery a bit, I do have the means of speeding up your death, if you are not one to wait so long," said the goat. "Look, if you can speed up the passage of time only inside my little pouch, I would greatly appreciate it, and that is not a matter for my kind, since we age on demand. However, healing is another matter, and since regeneration has some regional variances or whatever," I said, pouting. "Normally I would not provide a service like this for my worshippers, but since you are an orphan, I will make an exception, but it will come at a price," said the ghost, standing nearer, and I could feel her hot breath on my surroundings, and I then said, "You may not know this, but I was born in noontime, and it is unsightly for a goddess to bargain like so common demon. Alas, such contrasts are the only way which I can sustain myself, and I will not go into the big nothingness as the others," said the goat god, changing her tone. "And why nothing? Everyone is alive more or less, except those who succumb to a natural death, or as natural as a divine death would be," I commented, yawning. "Just what you know," snorted the ghost sarcastically, and she added, "All right, I will be your personal goddess, and with time for you, in a matter that you find most convenient. Don't mind you, since this is an alien world, there are some limitations to my power." "Let me worry about that," I said, "and for now speed up the time inside my little pouch, and only awaken me once I'm fully healed or dead, depending on the results of my little experiment." "And fine, experiment away, little girl," said the goat, "and it's rainbow by the way. I figured as much," I said, looking at her horns, and they had a cluster of white opal which shimmered with all colors of the rainbow, and they contrasted greatly with her orange-red body. And he was in the mood to converse some more, but the goddess' presence departed, and she was not able to return till dusk, and taking it all into consideration, I figured that she would only be available in the world during key points of the day, like midnight, sunrise, and dusk, and it's better than nothing. And during those 10 minutes, she was able to restore me to my body, and I should inform Karina before she tries something desperately stupid. "And you missive, I am fine," to my sister Karina. "I am fine, I'm alive and well, and I should say in full health, and I know we're not supposed to use camera to notice, but enclosing this envelope, here's a picture showing you that I'm alive and well." Later that night, I finally found a good cover for today's entry, and I draw a dogged expression of Liz standing by my bedside. And he's such an interesting fellow, and frankly I do not know why he cares so much about me and so little about his own son. Then again, Rudolph is a bit of a douche, and it's hard to find endearing someone who's always a jerk to you. And when I awoke, I had my Ida Maria back, and I looked through my personal possessions and found a letter from Karina. And she had spoken with my brother, and that I had agreed that I should take some time off. And they will not be expecting any any monetary aid from me till the end of the summer. And frankly, I do not see why it is necessary. It is not as if I am emotionally scarred by what Mouna did, and I was half expecting it even, except of the little from the others and much of yourself to avoid disappointment. And I cannot lie, and I wish it had turned out differently, but alas, some things cannot be helped. And I got up and went towards one of the pools, and the one with the miniature coral reef, and touching the tip of the water with my toes, I started at those. And while I lead this painful world in search of another sky filled with happiness, and the guys were the first to notice my return, and they gathered near the pool, but kept their distance, for they knew I would stop singing if they got a little too close. And the fishes too heard my ballad and started circling around my feet, and I ended my little tone when dusk finally fell. And Leaf too approached but said nothing, and he simply stared the same way he always does, so the first time he has heard me singing. And then at that moment I finally understood. Month 8, day 3, year 3. The picture you see up there is of a freshwater eel, and I was reading about them to fall asleep, and they are slippery little fellows, and I think I want one as a pet, and I guess I will have to wait till I settle down some more, and I haven't seen any of them in the river so far. And the river seemed to only have carps, alligator guards, salmons, and more colorful small fried fishes, and now that I think about it, it's a little bit silly to have a picture that has nothing to do with today. But whatever. And much to my annoyance or chagrin, if you want to be fancy about it, people were looking at me like some kind of ghost, and for some reason the potential of passing away was newsworthy in this urban city. And perhaps it has something to do with the nature of my injuries, and it was a gruesome sight for all those who saw. And when I went with Rudolph to the market, I kept getting bombarded with questions, and they were all the same questions, worded differently. And I wanted to know two things: how did I survive, and who tried to kill me? And to amuse myself, I gave each person a different explanation, and Rudolph, who was beside me every step of the way, was not the least amused by my colorful life, though he was a little less whiny than usual, which I took it as a sign that he was happy to see me. And to the baker I said I was attacked by a school of barracudas, and I managed to get away, but was severely maimed, and the only reason I did not die was because I am part salamander. And the baker knew the salamanders could regenerate limbs. To the cobbler I said I was assaulted by a crazy serial killer, and the one who has been leaving human torsos all over the river, and I managed to escape, and the only reason I did not die was because Lara was with me, like the goddess Lara. And to the sailors of the docks I said I was minding my own business, swimming as you usually do, and when I was adopted by beings from another world. And I got into an argument about abduction, and since I did not agree with them, they decapitated and threw my head into the ocean, and I would have been dead if a passing merman had not found me and nursed me back to health. And to the old gent who owns a flower shop, I said, you know how some flowers like to eat bugs? Well, there's some trees that like to eat people, and there's disguises of us normal trees, and you only find out that they got you when they eat you, and when you know they get you. And I managed to escape, but was badly wounded, and I almost died and was buried in the ground, which was annoying, seeing as though I was not dead. And I was able to fully recuperate, and 3 days later, and laughing, the old gentleman said, and that happened to one of my cousins. The tree or the buried alive part? I asked. The latter one, said the gentleman, laughing. And to the dress shop keeper I said I was minding my own business when a demon propositioned me, and since I turned him down, he got really angry and he ripped me to shreds, and a passing vampire took pity on me and he gave me some of his blood, and I was able to come back to life, but now I have to drink human blood, and the sun is painful to me. And these bizarre stories continued to flow through me, and there were so many strange that my listeners either did not understand or they failed to grasp to take my words in earnest. Both things happen more often than I care to admit. And indeed, talking with fools is such a bother, and by the end of my walk, Rudolph asked me, and what really did happen? Ah, what a bother. All you humans are the same. You pretend to care about a person when all you want to do is marvel at the burning bush. And I said nothing but telling you the truth, so start asking me about it, I said, raising my voice. Rudolph brushed back his hair with his hand, and he said coldly, I don't care at least what happened to you. However, I must know if there's a monster or whatever that is still lurking out there to report it to the lords, and such a creature cannot be allowed to do as it pleases. And aren't you a fine upstanding citizen? I said sarcastically, and I gave him a bow, and looking about, I said, and why don't you just admit it? You are afraid to be targeted by association, and I'm already labeled as a mage in the city, and you fear that he will come after you. And stop picking nonsense, he said, you know, another wizard, he said, pulling my arm and drawing me closer. And for some reason I was compelled to spit on his face, and his face turned beet red, and while he was cleaning his face with his handkerchief, I released myself from his grip with the same slithering hand motion akin to an eel, and I ran away with him laughing at his stupid face. And around noon, I saw Rudolph looking at me for in the temple. It took him from making a scene. I got dressed up and joined Leaf in the retro dance. And the crowd was already used to my occasional entrances, and I almost half expected it, as if my introduction was part of the show. And after the dance, Rabble was waiting for Leaf along with Rudolph, and looking at Rudolph's face, Leaf guessed I had done something wrong. And in joking, stern voice, Leaf asked, and what did I do to you? Nothing, I said, pouting my lips and putting my hands behind my back. Taking in a deep breath, Rudolph was about to speak with his eyes popping out of his head when Rabble started. Deasura spitted in Rudolph's face. And Deasura, what would you do? Such a shameful thing, said Artsy with his face twisted into a grin. He seemed to have been trying to suppress his desire to laugh. 'Cause he pulled my arm, and you know it's not safe for people to touch me, I said, looking sternly at him. I paid you all the time, and you do not complain, said Rabble, smiling. That's 'cause I wouldn't mind if you stop existing, I said coolly. And why so hostile, little lady? Asked Rabble, lowering himself to mess with my hair some more. Oh, you're not going to frazzle me, little man, and I can make your life a living nightmare if I have a mind to do so, I said, folding my arms. And trust me, there are no empty threats, said Rudolph, after biting his lower lip, and he added, I will welcome a chance for someone else to be tormented by this charge, and then you will all see what I have been going through since you brought this imp here, father. If you do not want to look after me, Deasura, you should have just said so earlier, said Leaf flatly. And I have plenty of late father who will be more than happy to do my bidding, and I only ask you because your mother that a brush with another human being will cool that foul temper of yours. And Rudolph made several attempts to voice his maledictions, but his anger choked him, and he let both Leaf and Rabble and walked home while trying his best to keep his tears from falling down his face. And I shook my head sadly, and I thought I was going to go easy on him tomorrow. Alright, that's the end of that chapter. Bye, God bless.